Good afternoon, and we're in Kitely today for let's talk about it. And you might notice if you come down to the coast and find the lighthouse, and you'll see the lighthouse keeper has been doing his job at last. We've actually got a light at the top of the lighthouse. Whilst I'm on holiday, you can have some fun exploring the waterways with our new boat. Now you can see I've already crashed one. It's meant to unres. I'm going to leave it like that to see if it does unres. And but we won't do that today in today's session because I want us to do some. Oh, looks like Reem wants to go paddling. Hi Reem, come back. Oh no, she's going to get wet. Oh well. Come back, you're getting wet. You'll catch your death of cold in there. Okay, so today we're going to take a little bit of an excursion into the past. Okay, but first of all, now I'm going to be sharing a presentation. Okay, which of course you won't be able to see. However, if you want to follow along with it, you can do so on the Moodle site. Okay, so if you go to the Moodle site and go to English Reading and Comprehension. Okay, I'll give you the link and look at what is a heroine. Hang on a second. Okay, then you'll be able to see here the actual presentation. Okay, but only do that if you've got a good connection. Otherwise, watch the replay and you'll be able to see the presentation as well. You should be able to access it as a guest and then just go through the slides. So let's see if I can get this to work. There we go. For starters, okay, so a little bit of a warm-up first. Can you tell me the names of any famous people? Okay, past or present? Can you think of any the names of any famous people?
Any?
Yep, anybody. When I say famous,
Negative?
who comes to mind?
Negative or positive?
Well, negative would
People.
have, we're going to come into negative, but negative would have to be infamous. Famous tends to
Okay.
mean for positive things, things that make you happy about somebody or make you think well about somebody. Infamous is like da, da, da. Oh no,
Okay.
not him. So
Okay.
think of
Dalai
positive.
Lama then?
Marilee Morrow. Who's Marilee Morrow, Shiny? I've never heard of Marilee Morrow. Yeah, type them in chat, and then we can check the spelling. I think you mean Marilyn Monroe, maybe.
Dalai Lama.
Yes, you got it.
Yeah. Marilyn Monroe. The Dalai Lama, yeah, very famous. Now, Dalai Lama. Ooh, now, there's another spelling quandary. Not something I often spell out, but I think I've got it right. The Dalai... Oh no, it's Dalai. I didn't think it looked right. The Dalai Lama, yep. Very famous. Do you know what his name was before he became the Dalai Lama?
No.
It's
No.
funny that, isn't it? Quite often people are famous and people... How famous can you be if people don't know your actual name? I think it was Lahmo Don something or other. But anyway, yeah, he had a name before he became the Dalai Lama, and now people just know him as the Dalai Lama. Reem, can you think of anybody famous? Have you got voice, by the way, Reem? Can we hear you today? You got your microphone plugged in? Muhammad Ali, yeah, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Sadly no longer with us, but he was quite a character. And what was he famous for? So you've got fame, and then you've got fame for. So what was he or she famous for? Opera,
Yes.
Monique. Yeah, opera.
Hello, hello, Lian.
Hi, Reem. Oh, that's a nice
Hello,
connection
everyone.
today.
Yes.
Excellent.
Muhammad Ali is a boxer.
Yeah, he was a boxer. Yes, I think he died, didn't
Was.
he?
He was a boxer.
Yeah, he died
Yeah.
recently, didn't he? So, which is
He,
always sad.
yes,
But
and in 2060. In
in
2016.
yeah, in 2016. That's right. Yes, last year. So
Yeah.
I knew it was recent.
Yes.
I'm always worried. Sometimes I don't hear about people dying, or I hear about people dying, but they weren't actually dead. So I'm always a bit. He's dead, isn't he? I kind of turn it into a tag question
Yeah.
just to be
Yeah.
He's dead, isn't he? Okay. Monique, what's opera famous for? Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, because she's a television star,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, she's a
And
celebrity. As Muhammad
yeah,
Ali's a sports celebrity, and she's a TV celebrity. She also does a lot of charity work as well. But I think
exactly. That's why people love them. Love
yeah,
her.
they do. They do. Yes, yeah. But she started out as a TV presenter, and she's got a big personality, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Shiny,
Yeah.
Marilyn Monroe. What was she famous for?
Sexual symbol, movie star.
Movie star. She was famous for being uber sexy, very hot. She's also famous for singing to the president. Happy
The
birthday, Mr. President. It was lovely. I loved that. I loved that. But she died young. But she's still famous. I mean, her image is iconic. The hair, the lips, that dress, yeah, the white dress floating up. So, yeah, very famous. Very good. Well done. So, let's move on and ask the next question. Do you know who this is? Now, that's a difficult one. Can you see the slide in Moodle? If not, I will share a picture with you. Any luck? Slide 2. But if not, I'll share the picture with
Grace
you.
Darling.
Yo! How do you know that? I'm impressed.
Because
Because it says it
I
on the
won't
thing,
tell you.
doesn't it?
Exactly.
Oh, I knew it. I knew somebody would
Sorry, I
notice, but
disappointed
well,
you.
there's not a lot I can do about that. So yes, it's Grace Darling. Now, do you know about Grace Darling? Or if I said to you, what do you know about Grace Darling? Would you answer who?
No, I don't know.
Okay, before you skip through the presentation, had you ever heard of, now this is where you can use this past perfect, because I've mentioned her now, so you have heard the name. So I could say now, had you ever heard of Grace Darling before?
I haven't.
I
Sorry to say that.
hadn't. I hadn't. Because you have now. You can't say I haven't.
Okay.
That would be a lie because I
Okay,
just
I
mentioned
hadn't.
her. So you've even seen her photo. Well, picture. It was before photos were taken, but you've seen her
Ollie,
picture.
this. Sorry, but this is new to me. Had you?
Yeah. Had you? Okay, so I mentioned Grace Darling. Okay.
Mhm.
After you answered the question, do you know who this is? And you answered,
Yep.
Monique, Grace Darling. But before you saw the presentation, you had never heard of her. So had you heard of her before I mentioned her? Had you heard of her before you looked at the presentation? Had you ever done that before you did it?
Okay.
So if I started the session, I could have said, have you ever heard of Grace Darling? And that would have been the first time I mentioned her, so it's a perfectly valid question. Have you ever heard of her? Yeah. But I have already mentioned her. You've already seen her name on the presentation, so it has to be put into the past of the past. Had you ever heard of her before you saw the presentation? Had you ever heard of her before I mentioned her name? You're skipping to the past of the past.
Okay.
It's a difficult one. It's a definite get a feel for it, and it's one of the tenses that people struggle with a lot. You can kind of get a grasp on the present perfect, get into the past perfect, and you've got that. You're talking about the past of the past. You've got to use the past perfect. When did you hear about her? When was the first time you heard about Grace Darling? It was in the past. It was in this session, but it was in the past, yeah?
Okay.
So if you think about a timeline, before this session, you had never heard of her. During this session, at the beginning of the session, suddenly you became aware that there's a person called Grace Darling in the world. And that's when you first heard about her. Okay? A minute ago, exactly, Shiny. And before that minute ago, you had never heard of her. So look at the timeline. That's when I heard of her. Before that, I had never heard of her. Yeah? I don't know why I'm waving my arms about, but I am. I've got my timeline, I'm going back, and you can't see me, it's useless. Okay, so let's learn a little bit about Grace Darling. So in the picture, what is she doing? Oh, good, that boat disappeared. It does unres, excellent.
She's rowing?
She's rowing, yeah. Where is she rowing? Any idea? How would you describe that picture? How would you describe the sea? Sorry. She's rowing. How would you describe the water there? Is it a lake? Is it a pond? She's on a boat in the sea. Yes, well done, Shiny. She's rowing a boat in the sea. Is it a calm sea like here?
No, looks like a storm or something
yeah,
like that.
she's rowing in a storm. Is she crazy?
Yeah.
Why do you think somebody would be rowing in a storm? Is that a safe thing to do?
Of course not.
No, don't do it.
Nope.
Do you think she might be a member of the Birmingham Navy? What would make somebody go out to sea in a rowboat of all things? I mean, I just went out on this sea, in a very calm sea, on a motorboat, and I got into trouble. Yeah, okay, so... Shiny, take the mic. Take the mic. Perfectly well written, so you might as well say it.
But I think I made mistake. Was he in hurry?
Yeah, was it an emergency? Was it an emergency? Or was she going to save somebody? Was she going to rescue somebody?
Because I just saw the TV program that because it's the summer is coming around the corner, so people go to the beach and they are lifesaver and they introduce how they save life and they are kind of busy. So I think she just like them.
Yeah, so she's maybe going to rescue somebody. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to read the story of Grace Darling. Okay, so you're going to... I say we, I'm going to make you read it. And because she's very famous in the UK, but she's not famous for being a celebrity as such. She's very famous because her story is told many times to children at school. We learn about her at school because she's actually a heroine. Okay? So,
Okay.
a heroine. Don't confuse a heroine and heroine, okay? So what's a heroine? Let's just make sure you know what a heroine is. Not the drug, no, Shiny. It's a homophone. Heroin without an E is the drug. Heroin with an E. Any idea what it means if you're a heroine?
Yeah, it's like a brave person or someone who's famous for something that that person has done. Yeah, has
Yeah,
done in the
something
past.
brave. Yeah, to be brave. Now, hero you've written, Shiny. Yes, what is hero and what is heroine? What's the difference between hero and heroine? Anything? Superman was a hero, yeah, or is a hero, or could be a hero if he
Yes,
existed.
yes, he is.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Superman. Yeah, Superman's always rescuing people. But why do we call Superman a hero and Grace Darling a heroine?
Because the first one is real and the other is just just fiction. Or
Ah, it's a nice idea, but no. It's just simply that Grace Darling is female.
oh, really?
Yeah, hero is masculine and Superman is a man, so we call him a hero, a superhero, in fact. And Grace Darling is feminine. We call her a heroine. Now, it's a little bit like actor, actress. A lot of people are saying we should get rid of the gender and call everybody a hero, whether they're female or male. You know, Superman's a hero. Supergirl. Did you notice they called her Supergirl? It's a heroine. It's like women aren't allowed. Am I not super? We got Wonder Woman though. Wonder Woman is a heroine. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. No spoilers, please. I'm going to go and see it in England. I'm going to go and see.
Nice.
Yay! I
I
just
loved
hope they've.
it. Yeah.
I really hope they use the music. You're a Wonder Woman.
No, I don't think so. Sorry.
Oh
I'm not.
no! I had a sneaking
Maybe, I don't
suspicion they
know.
might not, but no, we're definitely going to go and see it. It's got really good reviews. I just don't want to see it in German. And the only English version of Wonder Woman on in Germany is in 3D. And I can't see in 3D. My life is flat.
Oh,
I know, it's a bummer. So I always said to hubby, he can go and watch it, but I'm not wasting my money when I can only see fuzzy, like flat picture.
gosh.
And it strains your eyes trying to watch 3D when you can't see 3D. So it's a shame. A lot of the big films, they only come out in the original language in 3D. And I refuse to watch Wonder Woman in German.
Yeah, I
It's
understand.
just
Here's
so
the
wrong.
same, you know. Yeah, especially for that type of movies because they always dubbed it, and then and the voices are not so good, you know. So I prefer
Yeah,
the
exactly.
original, the
The
official.
dubbing.
Yeah,
The dubbing. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not a fan of dubbing, as you know. I don't mind subtitles. I watch a lot of world cinema with subtitles, but I think dubbing is awful. And dubbing Japanese
Yep.
movies is the worst. They never get the lip sync right because the words are so different. Okay, so Grace Darling was like the Wonder Woman of her age. And in a time when, you know, women were viewed in a certain way, like it or not, they were viewed as, have you heard this term, the weaker sex? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. The women who had babies were called the weaker sex. I mean, come on, guys, get over it. Okay, so let's see. Monique, I think you were the first person. Oh no, Shiny, you were the first person I spoke to today. So let's have a little bit of reading. Okay. There are some funny place names here. Perfect for Reem, because Reem needs to practice people's names and place names. But give your best shot of how you think it should be pronounced, okay? There you go. There's your text, Shiny, whenever you're ready.
In 1826, when Grace was 10 years old, she and her family moved to Longstone Lighthouse on the Islands in Northumberland. Grace was the seventh of 9 children. She was taught to read and write at home by her parents. She also learned to knit, spin, and sew.
Very good. Well done. Okay, I did warn you about the place names. So we say Northumberland. I know we say land, but when it's a place name, the land bit often becomes the schwa Lund. So try it. Northumberland.
Northumberland.
That's it. Good. And then the ordinal number, seventh.
Seventh.
Not seven, seventh. You've got to get the th at the end. Seventh.
The seventh.
That's it.
Seventh.
The seventh son of the seventh son. Something about that, I don't know. Some superstition that they're meant to be either lucky or unlucky. I can't remember. I think the seventh son of the seventh son is meant to be very lucky. Okay, very good. Any questions? To knit, spin and sew. Remember when we were doing our session on pre-industrial revolution in the UK? Spinning was one of the tasks you did at home to make cloth. Yeah, you'd spin the yarn, the wool into thread to make cloth. So obviously her family were living in the lighthouse. I think we mentioned that in the previous sessions, that sometimes the larger lighthouses and the more remote ones, you know, people would go there to work and live there and with their families. So she was the daughter of a lighthouse keeper. Okay? 9 children.
Gosh,
Poor
quite a
Mrs.
lot.
Darling. I know, that's a big family to me. Okay. No questions? Then Monique, if you would like to carry on reading.
Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh. Her father, William Darling, was the lighthouse keeper. This was very hard work. The lantern had to be kept burning all the time. Grace became famous for helping her father to rescue the survivors from the SS Forfarshire when the ship was driven by a storm onto Harcourt Rocks on 7th September 1838.
Very good. Oh, very good. Well done. Sorry, I'd muted my mic. So her father was the lighthouse keeper. Now, it had to be the father back then. It would be I don't think there were any female lighthouse keepers back then. I might be wrong, but I can't remember or think of any. I'm sure there are nowadays, though. And as we talked about in the previous sessions, it was a hard life. Wasn't that well paid, and it was a 24/7 job. Okay. But she became famous. If you notice this word famous, and to become famous for doing something. Okay. So obviously here's the lighthouse, but somehow it didn't do its work and a ship was wrecked on the rocks. So driven onto the rocks in a storm. Maybe they had no steering, maybe the storm was so severe they weren't able to avoid the rocks at all, even though the lighthouse was there. Okay, any questions? Perfect pronunciation, by the way, well done.
You.
Was anybody in the session last night when Natasha said, "You can tell me if you haven't got any questions"? And I typed back to her, "Welcome to my world."
I wasn't there, but I can imagine.
Yeah. It's like, you say, "Any questions?" And then there's complete silence, and you think, well, maybe nobody heard
Yeah.
me. So you can type up or say, "No questions, no." You leave me hanging. Shiny, you were there, but I'm not sure if you were there for that part of the session. Oh, it was great. It was on Discord, Monique. It was really good. It was so funny.
And it's good now? Did she change
This week, she's
the
trying
platform?
it out. She loves it. So
Okay.
I'm beginning to think that my idea of Discord being a backup for Skype might end up flipping, and Skype ends up being a backup for Discord. Anyway,
Okay, great.
we'll see. We will see. So, Reem, are you ready to read, Reem? Okay, sorry. Shiny's got a question. Do you know what, Shiny? Just take the mic.
Yeah, she loves writing. Oh my gosh.
The writing, it must have taken you ages to write that.
I didn't want to interrupt because you were
Interrupt me.
speaking.
If I've asked you if you've got a question, just take the mic, it's fine. Or just type mic, it's fine. And I'll shut up. Okay, so what did the others do? Not what the else did. You could say, what else did she do? So apart from helping her father, what else did she do? But maybe you're talking about the other children. So what did the others do? They didn't help their father? Well, there's no saying. Maybe they did, but it doesn't say in this story. You'd probably have to read the book to find out. Perhaps they were working elsewhere, earning money. It doesn't say whether she's the youngest or the eldest. Maybe they were too young to work. But everybody who could earn money back then would have been earning money. Hello, Vinay. Nice to see you. Okay, so Reem, your text, if you'd like to read it.
Yes. Gracie was awarded an RNLA Silver medal for glittery. Glass medals were awarded to both Gracie and her father from the Royal Human Society and $50 euro from Queen Victoria. Gracie did aged 26 and on 20 October 42 from conception, which is another name for TB, an infection that affected the legals. Yeah, there are two more. She was buried in the Corishert in Bangraph, Nosplant.
Unmute.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I was still typing Northumberland. I knew that would get you. I knew that would get you, Reem.
No,
Okay, let's start with the first bit. The RNLI Silver Medal. You did all right until you got to the I, then you said A. It's I. Remember I? I am? I?
Yeah.
Yeah? So RNLI. Try it.
RNLI.
That's it.
Silver
Silver
medal.
medal.
Silver
Yes.
medal.
That's right. So often people in the forces, the army, the RAF, the navy, they might win medals for bravery, for gallantry. Yeah, bravery and
Yeah.
gallantry. Now, gallantry is often associated with men being gallant. Yeah, but it was very rare for a woman to be given this medal for gallantry. I mean, just the name shows you they weren't expecting to give that medal to a woman. So let's try it.
Yeah.
Gallantry.
Uh, gal- Gallantry.
That's it. Very
Gallantry.
good. To be gallant. Yeah, to be gallant. Okay,
To
then
be gallant.
to award somebody, to be awarded something. Yeah, to award someone something, and to be awarded something. Okay.
Um, I don't understand the meaning of award.
To be
Maybe
awarded
aware
something.
or admired.
Yeah, Reem, do you have any badges in the forum?
What?
Do you have any badges in the forum? As a forum member, yeah? Do you have any badges? Let's go and have a look. I'm going to go and have a look at your account, see how many badges you've
I'm
got.
sure she has.
No,
Well, I'm just going to check. I'm going to check.
I'm sorry. I'm not understand.
It's all right. I'll soon
Let
tell
me-
you. I will answer your own. I will answer your question.
I'm so sorry.
So let's have a look. There's Engreem. I've got you here. So when I look at your account, Engreem. Okay. Oh no, I better not share that. It's got your information on it. So when I look at your account, I can see you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 badges. You have been
Yeah.
awarded. That means given formally 6 badges. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what awarded means. It means to be given something. It's a sort of a formal word for given. You're not awarded a present. Okay, you're given a present, but you might be awarded a title or a reward. Think about the word reward, award, reward, or a medal one day. You might be awarded a medal.
Yes.
Okay.
Give, that mean a give, but it is for special things, for a medal, for stars. That
That's
meaning?
it. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
Exactly. You've got it. Okay. So the next one, if you
Yes.
notice, there's an E on the end of human. Human, I'm a human, Vinay's a human, you're a human, we're all humans here. And then you've got an E on the end, it means humane. Humane.
Humane.
Yeah, with a you need
Humane.
to aspirate. Humane. Human, humane.
Humane.
That's it. And that means to act in a way that humans aspire to act, in a kind, in a generous, the way that you might want humans to act. If you're humane, you are doing things for all the right reasons. Okay? Humane.
Yeah.
Not all humans are humane, sadly, but we should try to be.
That maybe adjective, the human, make everything as you are human, or maybe a right thing in the
Well,
right
you
way.
can say to be humane. It is an adjective. It can be used in front of a noun. Normally we say you want to be humane. But we also have things like the humane society. Okay?
Yeah.
And that's then it's
Yeah.
used as an adjective. Okay? So then
Okay.
that brings us to the word society.
Society.
Yes.
Society.
Very good. And then the next one, poor Queen Victoria will be rolling in her grave. It's not $50 and it's not €50. Can anybody help Reem out? What is it? How much is it? 50 50 watts.
Pound.
Pounds. Yes. We're still on the pound now, and that's the pound sign, Reem. Okay? That is the pound
Yeah,
sign.
yeah.
Okay? So,
50
dollar
pounds.
is that, and the euro is that. Okay, so pound, dollar, euro.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, pound, dollar, euro.
Yeah, so 50 pounds. Try it.
50 pounds.
Very good. Then Grace is her name.
Great.
Grace. Yeah, Grace. And Grace died aged 26.
Not dead. I read it
Died,
dead.
yeah.
Died.
She is dead, but she died when she was 26. Died is the past form of to die. Okay? She is dead.
Yes, died.
That's it. And aged 26, we use the past because she's dead. Okay, that's when she died. How old was she? She was 26. She was aged 26. Okay. The next one.
Age.
Okay. The next one, consumption. Now, not consumption as in from to consume products. Okay, but consumption as an illness. We often call it tuberculosis or TB nowadays. But try it.
Yes.
Consumption.
Consumption. Consumption.
Yeah, try and do consumption.
Consumption.
That's better.
Consumption.
That's better, yeah. So, and then affects.
Affects.
Good.
Affects.
And then when you breathe, the air goes into your lungs. Your lungs.
Lungs.
Good.
Lungs.
When she died, she was buried.
Buried.
Yeah.
Buried.
And you buried in a grave, and Shiny's about to be buried at sea by the looks of it. Shiny, what's happening? She's just gone bouncing off into the sea. Oh my. The dangers of scripting when you've not got a good connection. Let me see if I can get her back. Hang on. Shiny, teleport. Okay, before she bounces off the sim. So the next one, she was buried in a churchyard. Okay.
Churchyard.
Yeah, the yard of a church where you bury people, a graveyard. Okay. Try sitting down, Shiny. Right click and sit here. Okay. She's bouncing as well. Reem, you might need to do the same. You've been everybody's got the bouncers, that's
Shiny!
it. Shiny, come back. I love virtual worlds. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Everybody bouncing everywhere. Okay, so when you find yourself bouncing, it's lag. It's caused by lag. So try and find somewhere to sit quickly. Okay, then Northumberland. I knew you'd struggle with that one. North, and then umber, and then land. Northumberland.
Northumberland. Northumberland.
Yay! That's it. You've got it. Well done. Any questions about the text?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You were almost drowning. I saved you, Shiny. I saved you. I'm a heroine. Actually, I don't think sending a TP makes me a heroine. Now, I'm not sure I don't think Vinay's got white dot today, so I'm not sure if he can hear us, but so I'm afraid you won't be able to read Vinay without a white dot. Okay, so now, does anybody know what RNLI stands for? The RNLI. What does it mean? What does it stand for?
That's the Royal National Lifeboat Institution. Or not?
Perfect. Yeah. You were far too
Thank you,
quick.
Google.
I had hope. I was going to say I had hoped you'd be having to ask Google because I was hoping to have a slurp of tea whilst you looked for it. The Royal National Lifeboat Institution. Remember, the UK is an island with a lot of coastline, and so it's a voluntary organisation that goes out to rescue people, okay, at sea. So the Birmingham Navy has to rely on the RNLI to come and rescue them. Sometimes the Navy will be involved if it's a big rescue, but generally, if you get into trouble at sea, the RNLI will come out to help. Okay. I am your Grace Darling, absolutely shiny. I'll be expecting a medal. Okay, so shiny. If you'd like to read the next bit of text.
The RNLI founded the Grace Darling Museum in September 1938, exactly 100 years after her famous rescue. The Darlings became the most famous of all lighthouse families. Many books, poems, articles, paintings, and even a rose were created in Grace's honor. In the museum, you can see the actual cable boat used by Grace and her father to rescue the survivors. The lifeboat at sea houses in the northeast of England is called Grace Darling.
Well done. Oh, well done. Nicely read. Very nicely read. Just one bit of pronunciation, then we'll talk about it. Remember when we were doing the possessive in Back to Basics? It's in Grace's honour, in her honour, in Grace's honour. Try it.
Grace's honor.
Yeah, Grace's honour.
Grace's honor.
Yay, not bad, not bad. Okay, so imagine having a boat named after you. Now you might have, it does happen, people will have boats and planes named after them because they're famous, because they are, they want to be, that people want to honour them. And the latest time that happened though in the UK, you might have read about it, I certainly discussed it in the forum, where they asked the public what they wanted to name a big scientific boat that was going to be launched, a multi-million pound boat. And they wanted it to be named after David Attenborough, who's very famous, a famous naturalist, not naturist, naturalist in the UK. And interestingly, they put it to the public, and the public started to vote for a joke suggestion somebody made, which was Boaty McBoatface. And Boaty McBoatface won, and it should the ship should have been called Boaty McBoatface, but they didn't let it. They still called it the Sir David Attenborough, so it was a bit of a letdown, really. But they named the submarine on the boat Boaty McBoatface. Although it should have been Subby McSubface. But if you look up Boaty McBoatface, okay, you can read all about the story. It's now called the Sir David Attenborough. Boring. Okay. Any questions about the text? It's a funny word in there. Did anybody notice it?
Funny?
They said you can see the cobble boat.
Yeah, I was
Coble.
about to ask about
The
the cobble.
cobble boat. Cobble boat. Yeah. What kind of boat is a cobble boat?
No idea. Cobble.
It's very similar to the boat you can take a ride in if you ring the bell. Yeah, it's a flat-bottomed fishing boat, and it's used especially in the north of England, so Scotland. And do you know what NE England means? NE England? NE? What do you think it might mean if I wrote NSEW? What do you think that might stand for? Northeast. Well done, Shiny. You're very clever. Yes. North, south, east, west. So if you see SW, it's often southwest. Yeah. NW, northwest. NE, northeast. So northeast England. Up north and to the east. Where Northumberland is, funnily enough. Okay. So even the boat is famous. Now, you can read about the story from the presentation. We're going to run out of time, as ever, but you can read the story here and the links on the presentation as well. Okay. Let's just go through this next bit. Bear with me. Okay, so you can find the link also in the presentation. And you can find a map in the presentation as well, which shows you where it is, Bamborough, the northeast of England. Okay, so if you go up north, past Northumberland National Park, and it's a honestly beautiful place, beautiful part of the UK, and it's not as touristy as when you go a little bit further west. So it's a little bit quieter, but it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, the scenery is stunning, and the coastline there, it's wonderful.
Nice.
So, what's the difference then? Is Grace Darling a heroine, or is she famous?
She's a heroine.
She's a heroine, yeah.
And she became famous.
And she became, yeah, exactly. She's kind of both. I mean, she's not internationally famous, although I have to say, if you do any kind of, if you're a serious sailor or you will have probably heard of her, because she is famous in that kind of area, if you like. She is a famous person to people who live on the sea, or who make their living at sea. Anybody who saves lives at sea is considered, it becomes part of the stories that people tell, salty stories. Okay. So is there a difference between a heroine and someone who's famous? What does being famous mean, really? What does it mean?
Celebrities are famous, but they are not brave. Maybe they are brave in some way, like do plastic surgery, but I don't think they are heroine.
Yeah, I mean, we do tend to... I don't know if you've heard of hero worship. Have you heard of the word hero worship? To hero worship somebody. Shiny,
No.
You're a little guilty of hero worship, I'm sorry to say. You're always saying lovely things to me.
Oh,
Not here. I log onto a computer. I don't think that makes me particularly worth any kind of hero worship, I'll be honest. But you do kind of hero worship me. Monique, you were trying to say, sorry.
No. Just go on.
Okay, but you knew what I meant when I said, Shiny, you do hero worship a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then worship, yeah, please don't. Please don't. I am not worthy of worship, for sure. Okay, but yeah, we do it. It's a human thing. We look up to people, yeah, to look up to someone. And it does drive me a little crazy sometimes when people hero worship people just because they sing or just because they act, or it's a strange thing or because they're good at sport. It's a very dangerous thing to do. People hero worshipped a certain boxer, and then he fell from a great height, lucky to get away with murder. Then people hero worship Tiger Woods, a golfer, and then he fell from grace. Uh, so you can look up to someone and then to fall from grace when suddenly people realise that person's only human and flawed like the rest of us, and maybe not worth hero worshipping quite so hard. And yet people, so do people, let me just go to the presentation. I mean, being famous, as you said, just means being a celebrity. Doesn't mean you're brave, although I have to say, acting and singing in public, I think that is actually quite brave. But it's not going to save anybody's life anytime soon, is it? Last night a DJ saved my life. That is a song. And what is a hero? What is a heroine? What do you have to do to be a hero or heroine? Have you ever done anything heroic? Oh, sorry, bye Monique. Oh, I wanted to ask you if you've done anything heroic recently.
Recently, let me think.
Yeah, go on, quick.
Let me. No, I
Oh.
don't think so. I
Well,
mean, whenever
you come and speak.
you
You speak
yeah, but
online.
whenever
That's
you
brave.
help someone, you can become I don't know, a hero or a heroine in this case. But yeah, but you sometimes see things like just you do what you can do, but some people can see that as something that is really heroic, let's say. But I don't know.
It is about perspective. You're right. You're right. Go and have your breakfast.
Okay. No, breakfast. No, I have to go.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
So,
take care then.
bye-bye.
Oh, if you were coming to Webinar Jam, there is a problem, but I'll post the link to the Hangout in the forum
No, I
and
can't.
Discord. You can't come
You
today.
know, I'm
Okay,
a
that's fine.
student.
Don't worry
can
about
do
it.
I'm doing my course and
Oh, yes.
I'm about to finish. Let's see. Okay.
Go get your homework done then.
Okay.
Take care
Have
then.
fun.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Okay, yeah, Shiny, yeah, having a mentor is great. I don't think mentoring is heroic, though. I mean, to me, Reem, what do you think? What have you been heroic recently, Reem? Have you done anything brave?
I don't think, I don't remember. No, maybe I am peer my children.
Absolutely. I think all mothers are brave. Even having children, I think, is pretty brave. But I think both of you,
Yes,
all of you,
maybe.
are brave to come here and speak. Yeah? To come here and talk
Yeah,
and speak.
yeah. Maybe you hear my children in the lesson.
We can sometimes hear them in the background. It's fine. We can sometimes hear
Yeah.
Shiny's dog being brave in the background too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a tricky thing because I think to be brave, if you're scared of doing something but you do it anyway, that's brave. Does it need to involve rescuing somebody's life? I don't think so. I think we do brave things every day. Sometimes going out of the house is an act of bravery. Getting out
Yes,
of bed in the morning.
I think I am brave to come here and speak. In the past, I don't have to be brave to speak English because I make many mistakes. But now I am brave and still make mistake. But to be honest, you are patient and your way in the lessons make us more brave and more comfortable.
Good.
Thanks very much, Leah.
Eventually, you'll have to stop being brave because you'll be so comfortable speaking English. It won't be an act of bravery anymore. It will just be an everyday thing, and you'll think, "Why did I used to worry about that so much?" But I think speaking another language and actually doing that with other people is an act of. I'm sometimes a coward when it comes to speaking German. I'll let the phone ring until hubby picks it up so I don't have to speak German. I hate speaking on the phone. I'm sorry, I really do hate it. In German. I love speaking on the phone in English, but not in German. So I'm a coward. I am a coward.
German is more difficult, I
It
think.
is.
My
Absolutely.
my sister in German now and learn German.
Oh, she's in Germany now. Yeah?
Yeah,
Oh, awesome.
yeah. Before 5 years.
Okay, cool. Oh, lucky her. It's a nice country to be, but yeah, the language is a bit. It's tougher than English, I
Yes,
think.
it's a nice country, but the language is difficult,
It is.
and there are another problem. Nobody speak English. We must learn Germany.
Yes. No, if you come to live in Germany or stay in Germany for a long time, you must learn German. That if you go to the big cities, people speak English, but if you're in a smaller town or a village, nobody will speak English. And the nice thing
Yeah,
is though that the Germans do appreciate it if you try to learn the language. They do like that and they will help you. Okay, they won't correct you; they're too polite for that. But they will
yeah.
appreciate the fact that you're trying to learn the language. They know it's tough. They know it's tough. Yeah, I think there are different levels of being brave as well, Shiny. I agree with you. And sometimes just waking up and getting out of bed in the morning is a supreme act of bravery. I think we should be kind to ourselves and understand how brave we are to live on a planet that seems to want to kill us. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. So I think you're all very brave. And on that note, I better go because we've got the hangout in a bit. As I mentioned, Webinar Jam's got the hiccups. I can't get any voice working at the moment, and I'm not willing to roll back my computer setup in order to fix what I think is their problem. So I'm going to set up a hangout today. It might be the same link as we used on Tuesday. It might not, but I will post it on the forum and in Discord, okay? I can't post it in Skype today. I'm on a different computer. But anyway. Yeah, I know. And yes, let's not go into that too much, Shiny. That's a heavy topic. Maybe that's something we should discuss in Speakeasy. That's a really heavy topic, but not just in Japan, I can assure you. It's a worldwide thing where people, yeah, is it an act of cowardice? Is it an act of, is it, self-destructive act? I do know that it causes more harm than it does good. So let's leave it at that, eh? Anyway, you're welcome. Thank you for coming, Reem. And as I said, if you ring the bell, you can get yourself a rowing boat, a motorboat, and explore the water. But do be careful. You'll be very brave to do it because I nearly drowned myself. Okay, don't forget to stand up before you log off, just in case. I'll go and see how Dope was getting on. I don't think he managed to log in at all, but maybe one day he'll be here. Dope, if you can hear me, I'm sorry we didn't get to see you here. But next time, when I'm back off holiday, we'll have more time maybe to sort you out with an account that works. Okay, so take care, everybody. I'll see you later. Bye. Was he or she famous for? Opera,
Yeah.
Monique. Yeah, opera.
Hello, Leyen.
Hi, Reem. Oh, that's a nice
Hello,
connection
everyone.
today.
Yes.
Excellent.
Muhammad Ali is a boxer.
Yeah, he was a boxer. Yes, I think he died,
Was.
didn't
He was a boxer.
he? Yeah, he died
Yeah.
recently, didn't he? So, which is always sad.
Yes,
But
and in 2060. In 2016.
yeah, in 2016. That's right. Yes, last year. So
Yeah.
I knew it was recent.
Yes.
I'm always worried. Sometimes I don't hear about people dying, or I hear about people dying, but they weren't actually dead. So I'm always a bit. He's dead, isn't he? I kind of turn it into a tag question just to be He's dead, isn't he? Okay. Monique, what's opera famous for? Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, because she's a television star,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, she's a
And uh,
celebrity. As Muhammad
yeah,
Ali's a sports celebrity, and she's a TV celebrity. She also does a lot of charity work as well. But I think she,
exactly. That's why people love
yeah,
her.
they do, yes, yeah. But she started out as a TV presenter, and got a big personality, hasn't she?
Yeah,
Shiny,
yeah.
Marilyn Monroe. What was she famous for? And then we can check the spelling. I think you mean Marilyn Monroe, maybe.
Dalai Lama.
Yes, you got it.
Yeah. Marilyn Monroe. The Dalai Lama, yeah, very famous. Now, Dalai Lama. Ooh, now, there's another spelling quandary. Not something I often spell out, but I think I've got it right. The Dalai. Oh no, it's Dalai. I didn't think it looked right. The Dalai Lama. Yep, very famous. Do you know what his name was before he became the Dalai Lama?
No,
Haha. It's
no.
funny that, isn't it? Quite often people are famous, and people. How famous can you be if people don't know your actual name? I think it was Lahmo Don something or other. But anyway, yeah, he had a name before he became the Dalai Lama, and now people just know him as the Dalai Lama. Reem, can you think of anybody famous? Have you got voice, by the way, Reem? Can we hear you today? You got your microphone plugged in? Muhammad Ali, yeah, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Sadly no longer with us, but he was quite a character. And what was he famous for? So you've got fame, and then you've got fame for. So I'll give you the link and look at what is a heroine. Hang on a second. Okay, then you'll be able to see here the actual presentation. Okay, but only do that if you've got a good connection. Otherwise, watch the replay and you'll be able to see the presentation as well. You should be able to access it as a guest and then just go through the slides. So let's see if I can get this to work. There we go. For starters, okay, so a little bit of a warm-up first. Can you tell me the names of any famous people? Okay, past or present? Can you think of the names of any famous people?
Any?
Yep, anybody. When I say famous,
Negative?
who comes to mind?
Negative or positive
Well, negative would
people?
have. We're going to come into negative, but negative would have to be infamous. Famous tends to
Okay.
mean for positive things that make you happy about somebody or make you think well about somebody. Infamous is like da, da, da. Oh no,
Okay.
not him. So
Okay.
think of
Dalai
positive.
Lama then?
Marilee Morrow. Who's Marilee Morrow, Shiny? I've never heard of Marilee Morrow. Yeah, type them in chat.
Sexual symbol, movie star.
Movie star. She was famous for being uber sexy, very hot. She's also famous for singing to the president. Happy
The president.
birthday, Mr. President. It was lovely. I loved that. But she died young. But she's still famous. I mean, her image is iconic. The hair, the lips, that dress, yeah, the white dress floating up. So yeah, very famous. Very good. Well done. So let's move on and ask the next question. Do you know who this is? Now that's a difficult one. Can you see the slide in Moodle? If not, I will share a picture with you.
Um,
Any luck? Slide 2. But if not, I'll share the picture with
Grace
you.
Darling.
Yo! How do you know that? I'm impressed.
Because
Because it says it
I
on the
won't
thing,
tell you.
doesn't it? It's
Exactly.
Oh, I knew it. I knew somebody would
Sorry, I
notice, but
disappointed
well,
you.
there's not a lot I can do about that. So yes, good afternoon, and we're in Kitely today for let's talk about it. And you might notice if you come down to the coast and find the lighthouse, and you'll see the lighthouse keeper has been doing his job at last. We've actually got a light at the top of the lighthouse. Whilst I'm on holiday, you can have some fun exploring the waterways with our new boat. Now you can see I've already crashed one. It's meant to unres. I'm going to leave it like that to see if it does unres. And but we won't do that today in today's session because I want us to do some... Oh, it looks like Reem wants to go paddling. Hi Reem, come back. Oh, no, she's going to get wet. Oh, well. Come back, you're getting wet. You'll catch your death of cold in there. Okay, so today we're going to take a little bit of an excursion into the past. Okay, but first of all, now I'm going to be sharing a presentation, okay, which of course you won't be able to see. However, if you want to follow along with it, you can do so on the Moodle site. Okay, so if you go to the Moodle site and go to English Reading and Comprehension, okay,